We played all kinds of battles of the bands. We were in high school together. And you've seen me play guitar. I am unbelievably below average.
Young drunk.
So how many people have you yelled at since yesterday?
17.
We've only had 16 staff since yesterday. Oh, me. You yelled at me. I know,
And the ghosts.
But I don't listen. They don't listen.
They really don't listen.
I know. So we're back. I love Thursday nights. It's hard to get here. We were all just talking how it creeps up on you. Like today I was doing my thing, and all of a sudden it's 4 o'clock. I'm like, oh, cool. I got 4 hours. Next thing you know, it's 7 o'clock, which in our world means it's time to pregame. Yes, we always pregame for the podcast.
Because we are old school, and unlike today's college kids who pregame at 11 p.m.
They don't know anything. What is wrong with some of these kids in today's world?
I can be in bed by 11 p.m. after this if you really let me.
No, you're going to work.
I know.
You know what's weird this week? So as we film, a couple weeks ago, we had Ava and Michaela on, St. Joe's cheerleaders. Big shout out. The finals will have already happened, but they are in Daytona as we speak.
I know.
They sent me a text. We're here. And we've always shouted out St. Joe's for their, the competition of the cheerleaders and whatnot, because we've always held their parties as we've talked about.
St. Joe's everything. We are a St. Joe's bar.
And we just had Ava and Michaela. This is funny. I don't think we've ever mentioned this. Your doctorate is technically St. Joe's. Am I correct?
Yes, but here's what got me through, because I applied to the University of the Sciences.
Yeah.
I was accepted to the University of the Sciences. St. Joe's bought us while I was there. And while all of my classmates were freaking out that we were being bought by another school, I was in a corner laughing.
Not just another school, but we'll get to that.
But we were being bought by a Jesuit college as a science school. That's a very kind of hard pill to swallow sometimes when you're going into
you're a young woman and making
field.
your own choices.
And
you don't want them telling you what to do.
And I will say things changed at our school and some things changed like that. But I was kind of in a corner laughing because right as I started grad school, we lost Pop-Up.
Yeah.
And what I didn't know, and because we were always a LaSalle family.
Yep.
What I didn't know until Pop-Up passed and St. Joe's bought you Sciences was that Pop-Up's master's in education is from St. Joe's.
I didn't know that till...
And I just sat there and I was like, this is his last laugh to me going, haha, you had to go to a family school now.
And this is funny. Where were you just hours ago?
I was at Moose.
Your grandmother.
Yeah.
And Pop-Up, your grandfather.
Yeah.
As people know, your mother's parents, who I have always said, the two of the whatever greatest human beings to ever walk this planet. Just the nicest people. Mo a little quicker, and Mo might see this because we send her shorts at times.
Oh, and she knew I was coming here tonight to do this.
Did she?
And that was the topic of conversation.
Your aunt is very proud of you. Aunt Lean is very proud of this.
Yes.
Because no one ever saw this from you.
Aunt Titi doesn't see this because she's just not on Facebook and Instagram like Aunt Lean is as much. But no, and I think there's this funny thing where my undergrad is Temple, so I'm an owl. And now my graduate degree is St. Joe's, but I'm a hawk. But what I don't even know if you realize was for graduation day, I needed to feel a piece of Pop-Up there. And again, I'm graduating from a school where he went. So like he's there. We're on the campus where he was.
Him. Yeah. What'd you do?
But I borrowed a cardinal pin from Mo and I had it under my gown because Pop-Up is our cardinal. And I was sitting in Mo's house today and there on the front lawn is a cardinal because he's just there. It's his way of being like, you're never getting rid of me.
We're here. Comes up to our front, not our front door.
We're here.
Our front walkway, from down the lawn.
But everything's impacted by that. Everything.
So we say, and not to change the subject really fast, but we're talking about Pop-Up and schools. And I don't know what made me think of this. Did you see the frickin' snake downtown. Wait, do you know the whole story now? So did you see it, the videos or anything? It's on the Parkway. It is like a 3 or 4 foot long yellow snake. Again, I don't want to remember.
Cobra,
No. And people are filming this like, what the hell's going on? But you never knew what happened to the snake. As it turns out, it starts climbing up like this one box. But as snakes do, they try to get inside and get warm, and
No.
So you got people filming this.
No.
It got blown a couple days later. The owners of the snake were just off camera.
Letting it.
They were just letting it walk in some sun, the warm sidewalk on its belly.
Well, do you remember when we were on vacation a couple years ago down the shore and the cobra was loose in Swarthmore?
In Swarthmore, that was years ago. It was
years ago, but it's everywhere. They're like,
was it a cobra?
It was some
like
kind
a python,
of big ass snake.
It was 15 feet, I think.
Yes, but it was like a vet who took their snakes home
in Swarthmore,
and they're like
a bunch of weirdos and tree lovers.
Make sure you check your steps before you go down your front porch. Like, excuse me. I didn't take the dog for a walk for like almost 2 weeks.
And it had a cute name. I forget what its name was. And they found it down the street.
Maybe like Bernie the Boa. Like something
just like that. And they found it down the street, like, I think wrapped in a bush.
I think it was under someone's deck trying to stay warm.
Something like that.
Like, who keeps these things as pets?
And again, I don't know why I just thought about that, but there was a big story in Philly the last day or so. But you were working yesterday, so I didn't get to talk to you about that.
I don't like it.
And then the tariffs. So now we're in news, and you were just explaining it to me the right way, because I thought it was 125, and because I'm having a week.
It's reciprocal tariffs. So like we were supposed to put tariffs on imports from all different areas, and we wound up only putting tariffs on Chinese imports.
It's going to start a war.
We're at 104% tariffs, and then China turned around and said, I'll raise you 104, and here's 125%.
Dude, if those planes really flew out with all those iPhones,
go buy your iPhone.
Think about that. Buy it right now.
Right now.
It's still going to get jacked up in the next week.
And then sell it on eBay for $1,200.
Why do people feel the need to change their phone every year? So hang on. You and I was every 18 months back in the day.
Months. But we never changed it until almost 2 years at the earliest. Now I only change it if I leave it in an Uber.
Which is every 6 months, hypothetically.
But
I've changed it for you a time or two.
It was twice in 2 months.
A couple times. I think we had a Lyft driver bring it back once even.
Grad school was a really rough time, okay?
Sure. No, your alcoholism is totally understood. And that's why we haven't pushed rehab on you so fast. It's coming. It's in your future.
No, it was twice in 18 months.
Is that what it was?
Yes, it was twice in 18 months, because then I left for my clinical rotations in the middle of the 2 phone changes. It was twice in 18 months, okay? I was due anyway.
I have an iPhone -4. I bought it in 1992 before they came out.
Your phone probably needs to be updated.
Actually, I think it's 14.
We should probably change your phone before they get raised in price so much.
You know what? It's all broken up. Oh my God, I thought that was my phone ringing. Didn't you think that was my phone ringing?
We're in an elevator somewhere, going on our way to the Apple store to get new phones. Alrighty then.
Wow. I want to see what happens with those in the next few weeks. Just with everything else, you get the tariffs. It's funny. I was saying to Terry when we got in here, Brian, who runs this building. I watched his podcast, and he's on with like another financial guy, and I'm sitting there going, I felt like a 2-year-old watching Bugs Bunny. I didn't understand. I just looked. I'm just going, silly wabbit.
What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc? Oh, really? So $1 and another $1 is $2. But if they're smart, and they're smart. So let me pivot, segue. Since I think we've been recording 4 hours now, who knows? May 3rd. Big date in my life. We've talked about it for years. I'm so excited. I know that there's been a little back and forth in the house.
Do I, don't I, should I, shouldn't I?
Am I bother? Yeah,
am I alone? Are you with
what's
me?
My role? I don't like.
Does anyone even want to see it happen?
but it's happening. It's May 3rd. We're just one time, and then we're done, or I'm done. But I'm really excited. A couple weeks away, did some final arrangements today. I think there's going to be a lot of people there. I think there's going to be more people there than they are expecting. But speaking of May 3rd, we have some special guests, and I don't even know if they're showing up yet. I don't hear the door. I don't hear the alarm. I don't know what the hell's going on. And then I look over your shoulder, and there's our guys.
I'm trying not to look over my shoulder.
Because they're right there.
I don't like it. Don't love it.
Dude, when they were adjusting The Rock earlier, and he was like, oh, my junk looks great here. If you smell what my junk is, like, it was slightly uncomfortable.
I don't
that Wheatley bottle, is that the biggest Wheatley bottle you've ever seen? That Wheatley bottle is bigger than Cody Rhodes.
I would like the floor to open and just kind of swallow me right now.
So would he. Although
standing on his lifts.
The reason that we have 3 of our 4 big stars here today as we speak, and we'll get to the other star in a minute, is we are announcing, by the time you see this, people, both of you, or if you both still tune in, it might just be one by now, TequilaMania at WrestleMania, or TequilaMania at La Roca. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying. We did it last year. Man, did I upset some people accidentally on purpose. All we ever did.
Accidentally.
On purpose. Whatever.
No, on purpose doesn't go in.
We announced last year for WrestleMania, which was held in Philly, and we held TequilaMania. First place that's ever done it. He told us that. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, can I get any celebs for this? We reach out to all these people. We were getting reached back by so much silence, it wasn't funny. Finally, somehow we hooked it up. We had The Rock and Terramana Tequila versus Kevin Hart and Gran Cormino willing to debate their tequilas in La Roca. Did that happen last year? It did. Or did we have a debate between these two? And as we were announcing it, one of my friends, who I like to hang out with sometimes, said, let me be the moderator. And all of a sudden, the debate became Terramana, The Rock, Gran Cormino, Kevin Hart, moderated by Conor McGregor and Proper 12. So what really happened was this. We might have used these dudes as the debate.
Long story short.
And AI voices.
There it is.
And we announced we're going to show the debate some night at like 9 o'clock. Place was jumping. And the plan was to play it was like 6 minutes long, the whole thing, to play it on our TVs.
I was bartending.
Were you upstairs or downstairs?
Oh, I was the upstairs bartender.
Oh, you were getting heat then.
And when you hit play, you ran in. You went upstairs. You left me to deal with the heat.
I was going to get killed.
Yeah.
Everyone, the news people, CBS 10, they're all, or NBC 10, whoever they were, 17 are people. They're all like, hey, we would like to get on board with this. And I had to tell them the truth early on. We had foodies.
Can't lie to the news channel.
We had foodies going, you're getting The Rock and Kevin Hart?
Oh my
Please
God.
Let me be there. And I didn't want to upset a foodie.
And here's me behind the bar going, would you like a margarita? Please stop yelling at me.
But we filmed, here's what we filmed. We filmed the press conference. I was in a suit and tie and shorts. Couldn't see the shorts. We had, and I'll send Terry the picture so he can put it up. We had, I think, 5 people behind me dressed as tacos and burritos, and they were not allowed to smile.
And I was in charge of costumes. I was costume and set director for the morning.
Did the whole press conference. I sat at a desk, announced it. You hear all the cameras going off. And then I really didn't have a plan.
And then he broke down the cardboard cutouts. And
I didn't have a plan.
We went about our Saturday service.
What the hell was I thinking about?
My 17-hour double that started at 7 a.m. so you could do this press conference. And by 7 p.m., I was going, dude, bro, man. Why? You don't love me. I'm in grad school right now.
We did great with Terramana. We've now become great friends with Gran Cormino, and I'll explain this. So let me go around the room.
I can't look at them.
We have Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Hey, I know you're going to be getting your real doctor thing soon, but where do you work at right now?
La Roca.
What does that mean in English? Yeah,
The Rock.
The Rock. So, some people don't get it. Whatever. So Terramana, we started, and we're gonna talk about this. 420 on 2021, April 20th. We had a party. 10 bands, we celebrate 420. We had liquid marijuana, like all that nonsense that we've talked about. And we broke the record for the most Terramana sold in Philadelphia. And I've never been more proud of that. Them shouting that out. I was like tearing up, like, wow. They paid attention. They paid attention.
They paid attention. Do you remember the funniest part of that night though?
No.
That was the first time I ever fell on the La Roca steps. I made you buy me new jeans because I ripped the ankle and the knee out of those jeans. They were my work jeans.
Josh wasn't there, was he?
No, it was JJ and...
Because Josh would have left his ass
no, it was JJ and someone else in the kitchen, and I ran up the steps carrying a plate of nachos, and I
knew it was nachos.
I hit the very top where the rug is, and my ankle caught on the top step, and I went down face first with the plate of nachos above my head.
You were so proud that you didn't drop the food.
Didn't drop a chip. I get up. There's blood running down my knee.
No one cares about blood.
I deliver the plate of nachos to the table. I come back down the steps, and it was JJ and I think Doug. And they're standing at the corner of the kitchen. They both look at me, and they go, "Was that you?" And I said, "Yup." They go,
was that 420?
It was 420.
21.
It was 420.
So we did that party that day, and if you see the videos, I have dueling sax players walking through the building musically. We had DJs in between the bands. Bands played for 45 minutes. They played at the top of the hour till 45, and then the other band would come on and play at the top of the hour. And High Noon is our sponsor. But back to why these guys have joined us. Terramana last year, TequilaMania went against Kevin Hart. Philly legend. Again, this is what we do, but Philly legend, and only had this bottle out last year. The Reposado Cristiano.
Yep.
He didn't have the Añejo or the regular Reposado yet.
Yep.
So we did a contest, and so everyone can understand what our contest was simple. Whatever we sold the most of from whatever date it started until WrestleMania night, won. Mm-hmm. And it literally came down to the last night. And everyone just knew, because I had a bunch of rock cardboard cutouts and this and that I was going to possibly do a professional wrestling move and predetermine the outcome. I would never do that.
Never.
And I didn't.
Nothing's ever scripted.
Kevin Hart won. I think it was like by 6. And it was that day, because I was posting the results every other day, every couple of days of where it was. Then Kevin Hart won, and not that I'm glad he won, but with that happening, we got really lucky. Kevin Hart got named the official tequila of the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl champion. Every camera, I want you to see this. Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. You hear me? And this guy had the...
Go Birds.
Go Birds, man. And we got so lucky at the beginning of the year, out of the blue. I didn't ask for it. I didn't know it was a possibility. I didn't know nothing. And they came to us and asked if we would be the tequila bar of the Philadelphia Eagles. Because some people label us a bar because we have so much tequila. You know, we're a restaurant, but I
some bars.
Crazy
and a lot
story. Let me get back to this. You know, Terry, who runs Young Junk, we had a conversation long ago when he was doing my social media. Like, what are you? And I would say I'm a restaurant. He goes, no, you're a bar.
Oh, I remember these.
but it was cool because I was getting somebody who's been on the street a long time's perspective. Mm-hmm. And it really mattered to me because we were considered a bar before we got here.
Right.
Just because food sucked.
We weren't known for a sit-down meal. We were known for a quick bite sitting at the bar and getting drunk.
Yeah, nothing good. So, and then we got lucky, man. And we, La Roca, and it's only a 1-year deal that I know of. Hopefully it'll be us again. we were the official tequila bar of Gran Coramino, to the point where in the Super Bowl, they were in and they bought, was it 10 bottles? And poured them out for free to our guests. Gave out all kinds of swag.
Yep.
So Kevin Hart has done a great thing for himself, for LaRocca, for Philly.
He's a hometown guy.
Dude, he is.
Hometown guy.
He is, and he's reposted us on social media himself 3 times since TequilaMania last year. So I'll send him a message, and you can look it up on Instagram, and you don't reply. I mean, it gets opened, but there's no, I'm like, Kevin, thank you. How about this as an idea? And then you look back, and it says, Scene. I'm going, cool. He's going to get right back to me.
At least he saw it.
Yeah, I'm like a 16-year-old waiting for his date to go. I asked out the prettiest girl in school. She's gonna get back to me. I don't know why she just walked away laughing. I'm sure she's thinking about it.
We're definitely going to prom together.
We're so going out. She's laughing so hard. She thinks I'm funny. This is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Said the kid with red hair, freckles.
You're doing great.
Glasses crooked, one leg longer than the other.
You're doing great.
No game. So, and then in the middle. Look at the size of that effing bottle.
I'm sorry. I'm not looking at his hand holding the bottle. It's like really uncomfortably like.
I don't be weird. It almost looks deformed. Is that just a finger?
Yeah, it's like a finger. It's the way his hand's holding the bottle out. But why geez, okay.
So he's our sponsor. So we're going to say nice things about him. I have trouble. His father. Dusty Rhodes, the American dream, son of a plumber, I got to work for. And not directly for, but, you know, when I worked for WCW, Dusty was still there, and I grew up watching Dusty. And that's his son right there, and the WWE champion right now. And what's funny is having these 3 guys here is The Rock made John Cena, which we talked about, turn heel. Because he wouldn't sell out his soul. I really don't like the angle per se.
So I just realized, and again,
he's on lifts.
But I've been working mostly Mondays, and I've been working nights that wrestling happens. I worked WrestleMania. I haven't gotten to really sit down and watch. So again, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. I just realized that Cody Rhodes is the American Nightmare.
Yes,
you have to go against,
and he's got a great chest tattoo, but he got it on his neck like an idiot, and he'll even say that. It looks stupid. And above his pec over here, you can see it just that inside of his robe says American Nightmare. Because he wanted to be the opposite of Dusty.
But I think those like multi-generationals, it really works if you just kind of go with the family.
His son did.
Image.
The other son, his big brother.
Okay.
Different moms. Dustin Rhodes. So here's a crazy thing. He comes out to a song right now that he owns. I think it's called Kingdom. It's a really good song, and there's a whole part. Whoa, you know where the whole thing.
Yeah.
So hang on. Dustin used it before he did. Isn't that weird? Like, yeah, that's a hand-me-down from your big brother. So Dustin used to be Gold Dust. What are you looking at? His brother, oh my God. So his brother was Gold Dust.
Of the night.
And he was Stardust. And that's why he left the WWE, ran a show in Europe, and then a Chicago called All In. And then he started AEW. Him, a couple other dudes.
I knew that because I knew he didn't want to work for Vince at first. And
he didn't want to be Stardust anymore.
Yeah, he wanted to be his own person.
He wanted to be his own person. And I don't like...
It's hard.
We're dropping the curtain. I don't like him. He's a better heel than he is a baby face.
His face screams heel. His face
screams punch me in the face. I don't like his eye movements. But so it's all about merchandise.
His face is punchable. Like I could punch this.
And Wheatley, we're very sorry, but it's just we're gonna tell the truth.
But that's what makes him a great heel. His face is kind of punchable.
But he's a baby face. It's him against John Cena.
Well, it makes it very punchable for a heel.
So he's Wheatley Vodka. I didn't even know what Wheatley Vodka was.
Maybe I'm the heel turn.
Till a month or so before WrestleMania last year. All of a sudden, they never do anything without a reason. The Rock attacks him last year in the parking lot in front of a big truck. And there's 2 things on the truck. John Cena and Wheatley vodka. And where are we a year later? John Cena against Cody Rhodes. And, you know, I love that they sponsor us. And this isn't a shot against their boy.
It's not.
It's not.
It's wrestling talk. It's
wrestling talk, you know.
It's interesting to see the generations and how they move through the business. Again, The Rock is a generational.
People don't realize. Do you know? You do know. I'm just saying this.
Thank you.
He's the ultimate boss. Like when he says, I'm the final boss, he literally is. When TKO purchased, or actually, when what was the company? I forget what the company was that purchased WWE 2 years ago, whatever it was, and then merged with UFC into TKO. And they let him be the boss. Like Ari Fleischman.
I mean,
all these big wigs.
He took his entrepreneurship and his business and his just kind of face as this ultimate being and really developed himself into.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's awesome. And let me just say this. I also believe he was in cahoots with Oprah Winfrey, and they burned down all of that area in Hawaii because that all went to her border property. No commercial break. Screw that. Because then Oprah gets him to do a video. Hey, we're gonna match $5 million once you idiots donate. Not like she can't shit $5 million and he can't sneeze $5 million. But all of a sudden, they want everyone else's money to fix Hawaii that she burned down.
Dear viewers, this is 30 seconds of your life, and I lived in the house with this for about 6 months. 30 seconds of your life, and I heard it every damn day.
And those people lived in their houses their whole lives, and she burned them down.
Okay. Let's talk about other wrestlers you don't like that I think are pretty good people.
Okay.
Oh my God, who's the one who also became like a movie star? I can't think of his name.
Hogan?
No.
Cena? Batista?
No. Batista.
Won't go into the WWE Hall of Fame because he thinks he's so big. Do you see the size of that guy right now?
Dude,
without steroids?
He's a huge animal advocate.
He is so much smaller than don't use the word huge with Batista anymore. Actually, there's a big running joke.
Have you seen his animal advocacy?
No.
He sponsors a whole bunch of dog adoptions. He's gone into shelters and pulled dogs.
I'm not against Dave Batista.
Like, I think as a person, he's probably a good person.
I think he's okay. I think when he needed to separate from wrestling, he had a bad.
It probably made him a better person to get away from the wrestling. It probably.
When I watched the movie about 1 or 2 years ago,
End of the World, or
where they were in a cabin.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good movie.
Was it called The Cabin?
I don't remember, but whatever it was.
And he was really good in it.
The whole thing was good.
He was a likable character. He was turn character where you were like, oh my God, you're a bad guy.
He's in a movie with Bruce Willis that I love.
M. Night Shyamalan, yes.
He's a cop. When they rob banks, not the cops do, but actually Bruce Willis is the bad guy. And he is a good cop. I forget who the really good cop is. But it's a great movie. They have masks on a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, Batista was pretty good in this.
He was one of the first wrestlers to make that movie turn. Him and The Rock and Cena did it. But
I tell you, you don't even know this because you're too young. I think the biggest selling movie of all time with a pro wrestler in it, They Live.
They Live. I think but like.
He's using AI. He's listening to me.
I think it was
John Carpenter, yeah.
I think it was one of those things where a couple of them really tried to break out into like mainstream acting. Hogan didn't succeed. Then he had to go into reality TV. Cena, everyone was like, "Oh my God, you're such a sellout."
Did he do the Marine? Because the Miz has done like 7 Marines, I think.
Batista, they were like, "You're such a sellout." The Rock, they were like, "You're The Rock, you're fine."
He sold out to them. No. John Cena hated him.
And then John Cena did it.
Here's what exactly. Here's what happened one night. Rock came back, and he hadn't been back in a while. So he wrote notes on his palm and went out to the ring with an animal like John Cena, who called, and I'm not a Cena is one of the greatest athletes and such a great worker, but I just hate how much they push him. But Cena was like just threw Rock under the bus. And they were in a feud. They headlined, I think, 2 WrestleManias. He went away for a couple of years because he tore a groin and maybe something in his arm and for movies. But he was the first one who upset the wrestling business, filming The Mummy.
Yeah. Oh, well, and then what? It was him and then Batista. In that time frame, it was him and then
he was way before Dave Batista.
Yeah, but I don't think. But Batista didn't recover like The Rock and Cena did.
No, he didn't.
And he stayed kind of a sellout to them.
Fell one time trying to get into the ropes, and literally just fell. And on live TV,
you're not the athlete you were anymore.
You're not a movie star. Movie stars don't fall like that. It's just, but he's built it back up. No, I have no animosity with him.
For me, I think he's just a really great, like, huge animal advocate. They've done a couple specials.
I think I've known that, actually.
I will say my favorite John Cena movie he's not a star. He's the underrated character. You're not gonna get it.
With the blonde chick.
It's with
Trainwreck?
Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. No, it's Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, and he's the drug dealer at the party. He's the stoic drug. What is it called? Sisters?
I gotta watch that.
No, you've seen it with me. It's Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, and they're sisters. And one is like the straight-laced sister, and the other is like the quintessential screw-up. She was a young mom, and they go back to their childhood home and their parents are getting ready to sell it. So they throw one last rager party, and John Cena is there as like the drug dealer. And he's giving them Molly. He's giving them MDMA. It's every drug in the book, and he's just there stoic. Yeah, what do you want?
He's in a show called The Peacemaker.
He's the funniest thing.
All he does is curse.
He does it so well.
And people are saying he's so good at it.
He does it so well.
Well, he's turned heel now, and that's cool. I hope they all make money. I hope it's entertaining. I'm not loving it yet, and I think that we're going to try to put on a better show. So part of what we're going to talk about, because this is going to come out in, a week or so. So we're planning that. And we've moved it back. Every 420, not everyone knows what 420 is, but we know what 420 is. But this year it falls on Easter. So we're going to move it back to 426. La Roca has a party. We have I think this year we're having 8 bands. And last year, I think the TequilaMania was around it. I really don't remember.
I think TequilaMania was like the weekend before.
Is that how it ended up? So this year...
Because I think we had 3 weekends back-to-back. We had TequilaMania, WrestleMania one weekend. We had 420 and an event I won't name on that Sunday. And then the following weekend was Cinco de Mayo. So we had 3 weekends.
She means...
Exactly. I mean...
Yeah.
We had 3 weekends back to back where I got no sleep for the span of 21 days, and it was a great time, and we all survived. Barely, a little bit.
So this year, WrestleMania also falls on Easter, 420.
Who the hell decided that?
I don't know, but I'm pretty pissed off at God.
Like who said WrestleMania on Easter, the Lord is risen and you will fall through the ring?
Does God not know how much tequila I have? Does God not know I have the Reaper in my building?
I don't think you can use the Reaper on the Lord's Day.
Why can't he use WrestleMania and Easter on 420, which is my day? That doesn't seem fair.
Some of us don't celebrate.
So anyway, we're moving 420 back to 426. And we are going to combine it once again, and we're going to end it that weekend, Saturday night, TequilaMania. And what we're doing is I'll send Terry will put up the graphic. We have an actual tournament. We have 3 big events.
Think NCAA bracket style.
Absolutely, bracket style. One bracket is Michael Jordan's tequila versus The Rock. That's our athlete bracket. One bracket is 818 Blanco, which is Kendall Jenner, versus Casamigos, which is George Clooney. That's our celeb bracket. And then we have a couple other brackets. We have Kevin Hart versus Malone. That's a tough deal.
That's an interesting
They love that, but Malone is so popular. And then the other bracket on that side is Patron versus Hornitos. And people go, well, I'm always going to go with the cheaper. No. We've knocked the prices down. They are so cheap. And here's what you get for participating in TequilaMania. Your vote counts. Like, it truly does count. We do it for real. Whoever wins, wins. Whoever advances, advances. But your vote gets you in line to win. I think we're at 4 guitars we're giving away. We have some really cool guitars. I don't want to say who they're branded. They are alcohol branded guitars. So effing cool. And we're going to be giving those away. We have a bunch of bands coming. We have a ska band. I have a reggae band. I have a pop band. I have a cover band. I have a band with a couple originals. I might bring in a metal band. I just to let them go nuts. Dude, it's music. So we're doing this. And it's starting as we film this. Everyone's going to know. I think what's today, the 9th or the 10th?
10th.
So it starts Friday.
It's the 10th.
Friday the 11th. And then there's that whole bracket. And we're going to go whittle it down the week before. People, somebody's going to get eliminated, whether it's Kevin, whether it's The Rock. Cody is not obviously in the TequilaMania bracket because that would be stupid. What else would be stupid is having the La Roca Vodka Championship of the World. And that is Wheatley Vodka against a big-time heavyweight contender. For years, we have sold a lot because every Tuesday, we did it for $2. Wheatley Vodka versus Tito's Vodka. This is a crazy competition. There's only a winner and a loser in that, and that's cool. We're going to announce it. We're going to be fair about it. And they're both contributing to giving gifts, not to just the winners of TequilaMania. We're drawing tickets for people who've actually bought something and join the loyalty program. They must join the loyalty program, obviously. But then the final match. It's not the final match it's not the main event, but whoever, as a kid growing up, my buddy and I we'd always look at these wrestling magazines. Oh, loser leaves WWF. Loser leaves NWA. Loser leaves AWA. We are doing Loser Leaves La Roca. And in true wrestling fashion, in true Philadelphia fashion, it's not the first one, but Philadelphia became the home, thanks to Paul Heyman, Paulie, of the three-way dance. So we're going to do a very cool three-way dance. We are doing WWE's heel whiskey. It's called whiskey. Fireball. Three-way dance. Who are the other 2 dance partners? Let's get crazy. And this is where we get to the point of, who's missing here? One of my actual friends. And Terry will show you the video. We had a signing recently. We did shots together after we signed the contract. You watch them walk in. And we held the signing at my friends, Chicky and Pete's in South Philly. I love Pete so much. I love Big Pete. I love Little Pete. Shout out to my friends. And they invited me. So you see me and Connor. We did the thing there because I can't afford to bring him in all those many times. But he's like, you're my boy. Dude, that dude, he's short. And his waist, is like the size of this mic stand. And his shoulders just go up like a V. And some people would say, enhanced. I don't know. But he can't pass a USADA test for UFC right now. He does bare knuckles. He's great. I love Conor McGregor, man. I ain't saying nothing bad about that guy. He's been good to us since.
Say he can't pass a test right now.
Bro, he can't. Yeah, doing shots with my boy. You see when they're walking him in. That's not even me, I don't think. I don't know. And you see when they're walking in, all the cameras, the cops and everything. No. Then you see him walk up to me. And my friends that I was there with going, wait, you're not kidding. Because you see the video, he's escorted in by all these cops. I'm alone by the side of the bar. And you see him walk over and we just hug. And it's all my friends going, Bro, I thought you were like, bullshitting me, like you guys hung out just because we used to sell so much Proper 12. But now what we're doing, Fireball versus Proper 12. Need one more dance partner. We're going old school. If this was TequilaMania in the WWE days, this would be the WWF days. Ready? Fireball. Proper 12. Jägermeister. It is what it is.
Oh.
But one of those brands you will not find at La Roca anymore.
It's been a while since I could handle the Jägermeister.
Haven't you made Jaeger bombs recently?
No. I've become a big fan of cherry bombs recently.
Daddy bombs.
Oh, that I prefer to call them cherry bombs.
Whatever. That's it's a fake name.
Yeah, Jaeger is our friend Nate's bomb of choice.
We just had Nate's 21st birthday. I wasn't there. Were you there?
I was there.
I wasn't there.
I was there.
So here's what we do. Every employee that we have that turns 21, we give them a party free for 10 people, 10 of their friends. Mm-hmm. Drink and eat. And we've done that since 2018, whatever.
It was me calling you that night going,
how long is this going?
How long is this going? And please, God, can we get them out soon? Because Nate heard, it's a free party for 10 of my friends. I'm going to bring 40 who will pay. Oh, I'm going to bring 60 who will pay. Oh, let me one up that. I'll bring 80 who will pay. And
we're bringing Nate on this. I love that kid. We have such a, him and I, our story, and I'll save it for when Nate's here, but we have such a, me, I'm a sentimentalist. I'm a romantic.
St. Joe's connections for us.
Yeah, bro.
We love Chef Nate.
And then I reached, we had never met, and I reached out to him at Christmas time, 6 months later. But I'm actually going to have him on. He works at the food marketing department at St. Joe's.
He's a food marketing major.
And right now he's in an internship. He loves to talk about food.
He is one of the chefs for the campus ministry. He cooks them dinner twice a week.
He's a great dude. He's a good person.
He's a good kid.
Yeah.
And I tell him that to his face. I call him a kid to his face. And
for those that come in and Nate's your bartender, Nate's his disposition is just so cool.
Sweetest boy.
I gotta tell you. Not that I have alcohol issues, I might, but I see a lot of bartenders at other places, and I'm really proud of I want to say everybody, but not everybody. I'm proud of a lot of our people. We have some of the nicest people.
We have
we get lucky.
Friendly.
We have issues like happened this morning.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bartender. Something just happened.
You know what? Shit happens.
Shit happens.
Every business, shit happens.
But
I'm sorry. My grandmother might watch this. I did not just say that word.
It's weird. I've said grandmother a couple times today to you. We don't ever call her. It's Mo.
She's Mo, but I did not just say a choice 4-letter word. Okay.
She's heard you. The other day when Terry and Andrew left, you and I were just, what the F is going on? I don't know. I'm effing scared. What the F? He's bleeping us. I've never heard more bleeps. So now when I want to drop the F-bomb, I'm going to go, do you know how beeping cool this is? So that he can add in the word F. I just think,
Actually, I'm going to go for that. Beep happens.
Dude, sometimes it just gets beeped up. You know what I mean? TequilaMania, there's going to be a lot of people getting all beeped up.
Lots of people getting all sorts of
And now what he can do is he can sample our voices from other episodes and just I'm just kidding you. Making it way too hard. So TequilaMania, I'm so excited that we're doing this. And we're going to do it in conjunction with 420. And we're going to call 420 426. This will be out before then. I got Dan Trainer from Delco, one of our guys.
Good old Delco.
Yeah. I asked High Noon today. I'm like, I need a bus from Delco to here and back.
Please don't.
Yeah, well, it didn't work out. It didn't work out so well.
I don't need that much Delco and Maniunk. Keelan can't be here for that one.
Yeah, but somebody like Dan he'd fill up the bus.
He would fill up the bus, but that's a lot of Delco.
It's a lot of Delco, but we are Delco. You know what I just saw? And I don't mean to not talk about these guys. I just saw this thing. Name 5 towns and list them in order, least Delco. Swarthmore was number 5, and it easily won. Chester came in second.
Least Delco?
Swarthmore came in number 1.
How the hell is Chester the least Delco?
I don't know how they're not the most.
If you ask me least Delco,
so it was Havertown, Drexel Hill, us.
How's Drexel Hill?
Oh, they won.
How was Drexel Hill?
That's Upper Darby.
But it's still Delco.
I know that, but it's the most Delco.
Havertown.
Well, I think came in second.
Swarthmore.
Came in for last.
I'd even put Media on the least Delco.
Media wasn't on the list.
But I put that on the least Delco.
They said that people from Swarthmore think that they're Springfield's own little Springfield. No.
Springfield is Delco.
Of course Springfield's Delco, but they're not Swarthmore.
Speaking of 420, you know what us at Strathaven used to say about Springfield High?
They suck.
The only thing higher than their test grades is their students. Because everyone used to say
I was counting the dead air. That was really good. That was the longest dead air we've had in 5 months. Because you just
looked at me like I was insane.
No, I was listening to the dead air.
Because they used to say that Springfield.
Yeah, they're booing you.
Terry,
that's their football team.
You. And that is the Delco and me coming out.
That's the band just came on and booed you.
You know what?
The gymnastic team.
I'm supposed to go back to my high school and talk to the students, and they might not want me after this. So.
Talk to them about what? Telling them that high school's a joke? Just quit?
High school. Life after high school, man.
Well, here's my life. Here's my life after high school. We're going to go back, and hopefully there'll be like 400 people at La Roca.
You call this high school?
No, this is my high school. We're going to go back to La Roca. Hopefully there's 400 people. And
there's no good way to make that statement. Because
who's working my front door? Yeah, I just made that Delco. One of my classmates.
You just made that high school in Delco.
Yo.
You know what? I went to Delaware County Community College, so I might be the most Delco person ever.
Yeah, Terry and I went to Penn State, so we win.
I went to Temple, and I have a doctorate. I went to St. Joe's.
I win.
And University of the Sciences. I've gone to 4 colleges.
Actually,
what do you got?
I don't have any weed. So if anybody wants to find us when we leave, walking back up the street.
Oh, wait. My senior year at Temple was the first time Temple beat Penn State in 75 years, and I was there to see it.
You went to the Notre Dame game.
I did. I was. That was college game day.
What was that coach?
Halloween. Matt Rule.
Fuck
Matt Rule.
And then he's already, I think he's back in college.
Fuck Matt Rule.
Texas.
He left us the next season.
He's at Texas A&M. Johnny Manziel.
He left us the next season.
For Carolina.
Yeah. But so my senior year was one of the
$7 million a year, if I remember that correctly.
But my senior year at Temple was one of the ultimate football years at Temple. We beat Penn State at home for the first time in 75 years.
Franklin sucks.
And then we had Temple Notre Dame on Halloween on college game day.
Is that Halloween? We
were a 7 p.m. game. We were national news.
And
that
Temple was in the game for what was it, half of it at least?
Oh, more than half of it.
Third quarter even?
Oh, up until the fourth quarter.
They blew them out, but it was good.
They didn't blow them out.
I think by 20 points.
No, they beat them by a touchdown and field goal.
10?
Yeah. Touchdown and field goal. 10 points in the fourth quarter.
It was so awesome.
But and it was one of those experiences for me, especially our cousins were there and they're the ultimate Notre Dame
fans.
So I got to tailgate with them. I left my friends. I didn't even tailgate with my friends that game. I left my friends and tailgated with all the Notre Dame
Dwyers.
fans. Yeah. Because I tailgate with all the Notre Dame fans because those are my cousins.
We have really cool cousins.
To be fair, then that was the world's cheapest tailgate for the college.
And they're the coolest cousins.
They were the coolest people. And it was just
that's where we're going on 420.
Spending that day with them was even though Temple didn't win, we're on opposite sides of the stadium texting each other and being like, I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
And it's not me playing in the game. It's not you playing in the game, but I'm going to kick your ass. It was great. It was one of those experiences that I'm so glad I got to have it while I was in college because it's,
Yeah, but kids that go to Springfield High School shouldn't get to experience it because they shouldn't even graduate. They should just quit while they're ahead.
They were really high.
I'm just saying their parents are paying those taxes in that stupid town. What about, actually.
Go Panthers.
Here's one of my really good friends from Springfield. He's my age. We played all kinds of battles of the bands. We were in high school together. And you've seen me play guitar. I am unbelievably below average. And Tommy was just better than me. And we would play these battles of the bands. And, sometime I think we played together, and we played a part. We played Marple, Newtown, Springfield, O'Hara. Tommy Kiefer from the band Cinderella, and now he's down in Nashville, and he's still doing. He's doing these cruises and stuff like that. But he went to Springfield. He was one of my true friends growing up from Springfield that I knew. Even though I played ice hockey in Springfield, I knew Tommy just from the bands. He went to Springfield. I went to, I went to public school till they asked me to leave. And then I went to O'Hara. And they asked me to leave, but it was too late.
You were graduating.
Well.
Too late now.
It was graduation.
He was at least a junior.
I what?
I said you were at least a junior.
Yeah, I said to Moose the other day, we graduated June 8th, 19. And he goes, you remember the exact date? I said, of course I remember the date.
I graduated high school in June 8th.
We graduated the same day.
Well,
a couple years apart.
You never told me that. I just had that.
I told you that back then.
Okay, well, I was graduating.
Well, we were told.
Just going, thank God I'm getting out of here.
We were told that we were the class with the black cloud hanging over us. Because we had our soft hop. Ever since we were sophomores, our soft hop. Hey, shout out to my sophomore date, Patty Leahy. I think you met. I love Patty.
You related to her, Terry?
No. Now it's Pistapino. Sorry if I got that wrong, darling. Love her. And it wasn't her that her and I got in trouble. My whole class got in trouble because they were in the parking lot for the whole soft hop.
They were awful.
Drinking, possibly smoking marijuana. I don't know what was going on out there. I was a nerd. And we just got in trouble immediately from Monsignor Bonner or Monsignor Mortimer.
That was the class above me at Strathaven that had that reputation.
Yeah, but that was my class.
I was in the good class.
We started out, my friends will tell me, Moose, Rick.
That means I'm a loser.
Patty will tell me. I think we started off with 12 or 1,300 people, and we finished with, I think, 1,030 something. And I am so proud because everything was ranked. You were ranked as a student. I don't know if they still do that. And I don't know how this happened. I finished third. How did I finish third?
From the bottom?
Yeah. But no, it was. But I didn't.
Hey.
I was trying harder than
graduated.
that. I never did home. Well, you know what? My fourth quarter of senior year, I made honors because I had to pass with like D's, just to be able to pass. I had a math teacher. All my friends kind of know that I have weird math issues. And I had a teacher who just said, dude, you're always looking at the window. You're not paying attention to nothing. You're a nice kid. What's wrong with you? And I said,
the answer is 982.
I said, I'm sorry. Are you talking to me? Like, I'm looking out the window thinking about playing baseball or playing the guitar. Mary Berner, she took over a big part of the district in Delco. She became the school superintendent of Bonner, Prendy, a bunch of different schools. And she just knew back then that I was different, weird. I said to the girl today, our bartender, because we ordered those cups of cups.
Cases.
I'm like, how are these so small? I go, it's I forget how many it is. It's 15 times.
It's like 20
55. And I go 15. I go, it's 855. And all of a sudden, I don't know what she's doing, and she turns around and says, "How did you get that?" I go, "Get what?" She goes, "You just said how many things were in there. We were having a conversation." I said, "Because I did the math." She goes, "I had to use my phone." I'm like, yeah, but your phone also can show the work. I don't even know how to show the work.
Yeah.
That's my problem. And Mary Berner, God bless her soul, took somebody special, if different like me, gave time. And I finished third from the bottom. I do not know how that is possible. I didn't hand in to your grandparents. I didn't give them my report card sometimes for months at a time. I'm like, no, it's a weird year. They're only going to do one report card. And they didn't give a shit about me.
Me, this semester, I had almost all C.
Yeah, but they didn't even care. They they had they had their own son. They birthed their own son who was a genius, my brother. So I was looked at different, music, sports. Weird kid, adopted, just weird. Can we give him back?
But there's special teachers everywhere. I think that's a very important message. That there's special teachers.
No, there's not. Not in Springfield High School.
Not in Springfield High School.
Back.
Springfield.
Let's bring this full circle.
Oh,
Springfield High School students. No one is going to be upset at you.
No one
if you
cares.
drop out.
No one cares.
We're just saying you're not Strathaven. You're not O'Hara. You're stuck right in the middle. Quit while you're ahead.
Yeah.
That was a message from the education department at La Roca. How you doing?
Just kidding. The United States isn't about to have an education department, so just...
Linda McMahon. No, he told her to disband it. Back to wrestling. Linda McMahon.
I was a teacher. I'm a big proponent of higher education.
Can I tell you something, though? Can I tell you something? Do you know who started with disbanding the education department, whatever?
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
My guy, my president.
Your president.
That I was willing to go to war for. I served under.
I just believe in a world where the parents are uneducated. We can't say that the education begins at home.
I get it.
We got a lot of really dumb parents in the world. I'm sorry.
No offense. Your mother's really smart.
You don't need,
and I'm your father.
Yeah, but you don't. No, stop. But like, you don't need an education to become a parent. And so why can we say education begins at home? The early education begins at home. Why should we regulate early education? I was an early education teacher. I am a firm believer in
Here's a
education.
question. Let's leave your nieces and nephews out of this, okay? No. Let me. What's your feeling about homeschooling?
I'm a firm believer that every person in the world shouldn't be a parent, and even less people should be educators.
I couldn't be. I mean, I raised your... What the... Did he just fart?
I think he just like coughed in the camera like, she's right. For me, I think a lot of the time homeschooling doesn't come from the right place.
Yeah.
I think homeschooling doesn't come from, I believe that I can educate my child better. Sometimes it's a religious move. Sometimes it's I don't say
political. Political's not the right word.
I don't trust the government.
Right,
I don't trust my child going into that. But I also think, as someone who was an early educator, I dealt with kids from 6 months to 5 years old. And those first 5 years, whether they're full-blown education or not, are such a social ground for those kids. You learn so much socially. You learn how to be a little person at that age. You learn how to share, how to care. You learn social norms at a young age without even realizing you're learning social norms.
I just feel you need the socialization too, though, of those other kids your age.
When a teacher is saying to a young child,
who do you know?
Hands are not for hitting.
You're in 5th grade, okay? All of a sudden you've been homeschooled since 4th grade. Who do you know on that playground
unless
you can get your weed from?
Okay, so
that might be too young. But I'm just saying,
But here's what I'll say for homeschooling. In most districts where there's homeschooling, there are really great socialization programs. And I think if you are going to homeschool, you should have your child in those socialization programs. So I know at Strathaven, we had kids in our district who were homeschooled, but they came to class, or they came to like school for home ec. They came for the sewing classes, not the education-based classes, but those kind of home ec type classes. And then they were also allowed to come to our dances, to our fundraisers. They were allowed to be a part of Relay for Life. They were allowed to be a part of those bigger social experiences that help with that socialization. And so I think if you're going to homeschool, kids should be in those co-ops and those socialization like opportunities, because that's what education is to a degree.
And while we're talking about college, I don't know about Kevin. I don't know about Kevin Hart. I don't know what he did. Cody, okay? Dusty didn't go to some shows because Cody was wrestling. I believe he went to college for a little bit. I'm not sure. The Rock. Here's a great story for our football watchers, both of you. The Rock played at the University of Miami, okay? He did not play because there was a guy in front of him who the Eagles actually should have drafted, who I believe is in the Hall of Fame, named Warren Sapp. And he was drafted. They both played defensive line, and Sapp played above Rock. Rock went in. I think Sapp joined the school, and Sapp beat him out. But he went to college. And finished his school, and then went to the Canadian Football League and tried to do different things. But again, college isn't for everybody.
And that's what I'll say. As a proponent of education and someone who clearly I must be a proponent of higher education. I have an associate's.
I'm a proponent of higher.
I have an associate's degree. I have a bachelor's degree.
I've been higher.
Technically could have a master's degree, and I have my doctorate. I do not believe you need to go to college to be educated.
I have a good conduct medal from the Army, which is really ironic. Just saying.
Okay, you know what? Oh, Cody Rhodes.
No,
he had planned to wrestle collegiately at Penn State University.
Who did?
Cody Rhodes.
Oh.
Thank you, Terry.
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
Georgia State tournament. And
yeah, because he's from down there.
But for me, it's, I believe in really good, solid foundation in education from that preschool to high school. For me, think about me. When I was very young in school, I was considered behind. I went to school young. I was a year younger than all of my classmates.
Within days of the deadline.
I was a year younger than all of my classmates. And
maybe. October 15th?
No, our cutoff was Halloween, October 31st. Okay. So I'm
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks behind. Every teacher I had said that I was categorically behind all of my classmates without ever factoring in that I was an entire year younger than every single one of my classmates. And so I had occupational therapy. Probably could have had speech therapy. I think they thought I was mute for a while. Probably could have had physical therapy if I wanted to. But again, yeah, sure. Put my kid in occupational therapy. You want to help her with her handwriting? She's a year younger than everyone. You're not doing her any harm. You're not doing her a benefit. She's going to get there naturally.
She's there either way.
But I'm such a firm believer in education for those things. Get kids services that need services. When a child is homeschooled, how do you know what they need if they're behind?
I agree. Do you know who doesn't agree with that?
Linda McMahon and Donald Trump.
And Oprah, because she's busy burning down acres and miles of...
On that note, I think it's time for us to go back to La Roca.
I don't even know what time it is. I keep looking up there going, where the hell is the clock?
Remember when you said we were going to do a 50-minute?
I do.
It's 9:30.
So, homie G... Well, I don't even know what time we started. I don't know. Don't drop the curtain too much, because then they'll go, oh, now I know all the secrets of the podcast.
I know how these idiots operate.
You know what, though? I had a really cool thing happen today, and I didn't get a chance to tell Terry. One of my favorite bar owners from Delco, a guy I've known for a long time, years, who was in the band for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
No, he's a good dude. He's a good bar. He's a good business guy. And he goes, dude, I am loving your podcast. We're bringing our podcasts back. How do you get this one scene? And I go, you realize I just sit down drunk and talk for an hour.
You're asking me questions?
He was asking me, yeah. Joe was asking me. And I'm like, I'll hit up the boss tonight. But he goes, is it in this program? I go, we're in like a real studio.
You should have just started saying random programs and see if he was like, Steven, I can't find, I'm sorry, Daddy.
Right.
I can't
I don't think he knows my first name.
I can't find that in the App Store. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. One program begins with a P. Terry? I don't know what it would be. I've heard of it. It's a big program. But you're right. I'm going to go back to him going.
Photoshop?
No, but close. No, I could look it up on Facebook.
Pro Editor? No. Video Pro?
Nope. But that's at least one that I hadn't heard of.
Panorama?
I think he made that up. But he loved...
Instagram?
He was looking at our podcast, and Terry, Young Chunk is awesome. He had a video, I think, of 4 of us up on top of each other. Like
the Brady Bunch.
Da, 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 da.
Of a lovely
lady. Oh my God, we should sing that. We should start doing old TV shows.
That was enough for me.
Do you remember when I would play them? I would play Gilligan's Island.
That was enough.
And I would play the Addams Family, like live, the whole band.
Here's the thing. The Addams Family was ruined for me while teaching. Because do you know how many things you can teach kids to the tune of the Addams Family? Days of the week. Days of the week. Days of the week. Days of the week. Days of the week.
Oh, dude, we would sing the Flintstones. Me and Lisa, we were like, Flintstones. And they're like...
My teaching trauma.
And then, I think that's how we became friendly with Harry Callis on Sunday nights at Duffers. Because he'd work the Phillies games. He'd still be downtown. He'd be drunk, hypothetically. And he'd be coming home. I think he lived in Glen Mills. And he would stop at Duffers. And I was there every Sunday night. And and he would sing. We would always sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," but what was his song? Oh my gosh, I can't. It'll come to me. And
the squirrel moments.
My life. No, 2 words.
Podcast.
2 words. Harry Callis. High hopes. Thank you, my brother. Yes, and Harry, he was such a cool guy. I was embarrassed at first going, oh no, I'm the guy in charge of the show.
What are potentially the 2 greatest Father's Day gifts you have been given? Oh yeah, the Phillies jersey with the authentic HK patch hand sewn on there. And what did I single-handedly give you by myself?
I was talking to Moose about this yesterday.
The jersey that is still hanging.
Just stop.
Back.
It's the greatest thing. I don't want to move it. It's perfect where it is.
Johnny Bench.
On the back of a chair.
His favorite baseball player.
My favorite baseball player growing up, Johnny Bench.
I had to have the authentic jersey sent to me. I got put on so many fraud alerts by my credit card company, and it now lives in my parents' dining room.
Well, wait a second. Are hockey players tough guys in general?
Yes.
Did I not take you to a hockey game? We walked down to the glass. I yelled in the hole,
Sir.
Don't make me come in there and kick your guys' asses. Come give me some pucks.
That's
and did they skate over to us?
Very different. Do you understand how many times in one day I almost had my credit card canceled trying to have this fucking jersey delivered to me?
Johnny Bench. Dude, it's the greatest catcher of all time. People don't know who number 2 is.
I'm sorry.
It's really Yogi Berra.
You're in Philadelphia. Why are you trying to have this jersey
Johnny
delivered
Bench.
to you? I'm like, just send it to me. Get it sent through. Oh, here comes another fraud alert. They won't send it. Wait 60 seconds and please press reorder. Wait 60 seconds after I confirm I'm ordering it. No, fraud alert. Wait 60 seconds. Let me order the jersey.
If people knew this fact about Johnny Bench in Philly, they'd be pissed. Pete Rose, as we all know, rest in peace. Charlie Hustle, one of the greatest players of all time. When he got in trouble, the first guy that was against him was his teammate, Johnny Bench. And he came around before Pete died. They patched it up a little bit, but Johnny was just old school baseball. He still is. And just didn't like, the bullshit. I don't believe Pete ever bet against his own team. I would never. Pete, that wasn't, he was a ball player. He was a competitor. So I absolutely, he admitted he bet on baseball. But here, a lot of people don't know. When you walk into a baseball clubhouse for, I believe, 100 years, right over the door, no betting, no gambling. I think it's no gambling or no gambling on baseball, whatever it says.
No betting. No betting.
Well, yeah, but they play cards in the locker room, so I don't know how they word it.
Gambling, they could play cards.
Right.
No betting on baseball.
But you couldn't. I mean, one of the greatest players. You had the White Sox scandal. It's a great movie, 8 Men Out, and you had Shoeless Joe Jackson, who's not in the Hall of Fame, who was special. Probably autism before autism was recognized as that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so great. And he's not in the Hall of Fame because they were found not guilty, but the commissioner banned them all. 8 Men Out. True story. Joe Jackson, Pete Rose, 2 of the greatest players ever that aren't in the Hall of Fame. And my guy, who you bought me a shirt for, it probably cost $8 million.
And it's hanging on a dining room chair.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
It's called a shadow box, my friend.
No, it's called in a perfect spot.
It's called a shadow box, which I probably should have just bought the damn shadow box and put it in there myself.
Yeah, honestly, you should have.
It's
one of the few times I've been disappointed in you as a daughter. I have a list though. Oh no, I've kept a list over the years.
That one time I got a 98 on a test.
How stupid are you?
Wasn't a 100.
Dude, you're
graduate grad school with a 3.95. Why couldn't you get a 4.0? Because I worked 60 hours a week while in grad school.
Not 80. Well, some weeks. Not 80 hours, not 90 hours. I am disappointed that you could not do better.
I'm disappointed.
I'm a little sad.
You know what I'm disappointed for? It's time to wrap up for the night, my friend.
It is.
Thanks for coming.
I love you. I love hanging with you. We talk all the time.
Everything.
You know what I was worried we were going to get into today? And you can do it at some point, make fun of me. There's certain words that you don't like the way that I pronounce.
Oh my God, we just added a new word to the list. Birria tacos.
I can't say that.
You can't. Documentary.
I love watching them with you.
Gummy candy.
I love making my own.
No, you don't make your own. I make them. Oh, I shouldn't say that.
Doctor.
Harry, let's edit that one out.
But I infuse and make the oil or the butter to make said gummies.
You have your.
It is, and it's medically done.
I'm doing a service.
Again, a brief recap. TequilaMania, here we come.
Take
for the next couple of weeks. Follow us on Instagram, everyone, please. LaRocca MNYK.
Yes.
Is that what it is? At LaRocca MNYK. Follow us on. Don't follow us on Facebook. That's stupid. Check out our website, LaRoccaMania.com.
Instagram.
And I'm sorry if I don't. I can't accept all the friend things because I have to delete people to do that on my own personal ones. But I will. I love it. We repost all the time. Thank you to Young Junk.
Don't watch our opening video on the website though, because they never show my face, and you can.
Dude,
I hate this fucking.
I said to that guy, "Why is my daughter this?" Is like, she paid me. I'm like, oh. They're coming back.
Some guy looked at me the other day and goes, "Is that you?" I said, "Yep."
Hey, and as we end, let's end with some truth. Isn't it funny how I don't bring the Wheatley bottle now? Although we got that. And isn't it funny how I'm not putting this in a Wheatley cup? Isn't it funny?
Isn't it funny how you never see my face in this commercial?
So
on the side where you can see everything else, but really my face, Terry.
Yep.
Yeah, Terry, thanks.
We're reshooting that. The website does that for me. Otherwise, I'd have the video content factory come in.
And Caitlin's not going to be there that day.
You don't even know what day I'm not shooting 420.
I'm not going to be there.
I think I'm going to try to shoot 426 now.
I'm not going to be there that day.
Or should I F with them and have them shoot street?
I won't be on camera any of those days.
What did I almost? I don't even know what I just said. And to those who saw the end of my tirade last week, I'm going to ask Terry to possibly re-edit that real fast, just cut it out, because I might dedicate a whole new episode because we have an update.
I may have been sitting in this seat texting Terry going, "Please, dear God, cut the camera."
Okay, we're going to end with this. What people don't know, 2 weeks ago,
sweet baby Jesus,
you guys were texting each other during the podcast. And I'm like, why is she looking at her phone? And then I realized it was just so out of control. Terry's back there laughing. I can hear my friend. And I'm like, I don't know if this is good or this is bad. And I'm with I couldn't love these two more, Andrew and Terry. I swear to God.
And Terry's going, "Caitlin, bring it full circle. Bring it back around." That was like asking, I don't even know what to bring the fucking arc back in.
So we'll bring it back. We'll bring it full circle and we'll start all over.
Moses to part the Red Sea.
In a week from now. Can I?
No.
All right, real fast. No, real fast.
Terry,
real
cut
fast.
it on Can I?
If Moses parted the Red Sea, okay?
Terry, cut it on Can I?
Do you understand the tsunami
this
that the world would endure?
Do you understand? I watch this in LaRocca on a regular basis.
Do you understand the absolute destruction of the world?
And all I think about is that guy stood in front of me with his camera with it pointed into my face, and that camera never looks directly at my face.
What are you talking about?
This freaking video.
Oh, the video. So anyway, the Red Sea was not parted. We did not land on the moon, and we'll be back in a week.
Young Junk!